2,574 organizations came together to put on the People's Climate March here in New York. At 2 o'clock, the People's Climate March media people will release an official count of how many people were here in this march. We will have a clear methodology. It will be on peoplesclimatemarch.org website and on Twitter at peoples_climate. You're about to hear from 7 people who have experienced firsthand the impact of climate change right here in New York City and around the world. Good morning. My name is Salika Cox. I'm a daughter, a co-worker, a sister, a student, and a person of color living in a community with climate disruption. I'm the Vice President of the Rockaway Youth Task Force, and through my work with the organization, I have learned the importance of understanding root causes and how they help us understand community issues. Action must be taken to address the climate crisis and help us understand the impact that it has on communities of color. We are on the front lines of the impact, but we are also on the front lines of the solutions. For decades, lack of investment in green infrastructure and investment in social and climate justice has had a great impact on our communities. It's meant the lives of young people, profit before families struggling already to make ends meet, and communities that will be damaged storm after storm. These problems will continue to plague our communities unless community-rooted solutions are implemented. This means investment in infrastructure. This means supporting local agriculture. This means giving people and communities of color the tools that they need to create sustainable infrastructure. It means that we must learn the importance of our communities and how to protect it and how to maintain clean air and water. We must start moving forward to invest in infrastructure so that we can address the climate crisis.
Good morning. You guys are beautiful. Thank you for being here today. My name is Stanley Sturgill. I'm a 69-year-old coal miner. Underground coal miner from Lynch, Kentucky, in southeast Kentucky. I worked in the underground coal mines for 41 years. Now I have black lung as a result from that. This black lung makes it hard for me to breathe. But my wife and I, we love where we live at the foot of the Black Mountain, the highest peak in Kentucky, and actually one of the most beautiful mountains in the world. Today, I am marching because I want to build a bright future for my family, for my Appalachia, and for the entire world. I have a vision for my children, my grandchildren, and my three great-grandchildren can have jobs that support our families without doing damage to our water, our air, or our land and climate. But this future is uncertain in eastern Kentucky. We have been suffering the early effects of climate change for more than 100 years. We have dug the coal that has generated the electricity and has powered this country. But our people have paid the price for this. We have destroyed our streams, destroying our health, and our economy is declining. And that includes thousands of jobs lost in just the recent months. I am here because our political leaders have failed us. In Kentucky, they have allowed the coal companies to blow up our mountains, destroy our rivers and streams. We are here today to call on our leaders and our world leaders to tell them that those of us in the front lines of the crisis are at the forefront of change. It's not going to be easy, but with the help of everyone, we can do this. I'm with Kentuckians for the Commonwealth, and we've already began to work with the people and our neighbors in Benham, Kentucky to insulate their coal camp homes. We know that together we can build our bright future. I hope that's why you are here. I know that's why I'm here. And as we lead the way, we demand that all our leaders start looking beyond coal and start representing the people that elected them and not the corporations that have been allowed to own them. Join us now and never forget, we are our own best hope for change.
Hi, my name is Mary Rose Taruk. I'm an Asian American mother of kids with asthma from Oakland, California. I'm part of the Asian Pacific Environmental Network that brings together communities to solve the climate crisis from its causes to its effects so that solutions are good for our hometowns as well as our homelands. We are frontline Asian immigrant families who face fires from refineries year after year because Chevron is in our backyards. We know that these fires burn our lungs and sends us to the hospital. And we know that these very same fires change the weather around the world and cause superstorms like Typhoon Haiyan that's hit home for me. I'm here at the People's Climate March because we're tired of waiting for the United Nations to solve the climate problem. We on the front lines of the climate crisis have started to take action. We've taken matters into our own hands and have started adopting solutions that move us away from exploding refineries and instead towards local clean energy. We've had enough smokestacks in our neighborhoods, and so instead we've installed solar panels on our schools and our community buildings like the Asian Resource Center in Oakland, California. We're tired of unemployment lines, and so we've started to train our folks like Nelson in Richmond, California, so that he can be first in line for these clean energy jobs. We've had enough trips to emergency rooms, and so my kids sent me here on this trip to New York for this climate march so that we can join forces with all these community folks out here, community leaders that are bringing together solutions for our communities to climate change. United Nations, look at the progress that communities at the front lines have made in the absence of your actions. Now you need to catch up to us. And we know best. The climate solutions that will not come, that those solutions will not come from oil companies who are causing the problems in the first place. We know the best solutions are going to come from frontline communities and moms who are determined to fix a climate problem that's ruining our health and our lands. The answer, UN, is blowing in the wind. The answer is right above us, and the answer, UN, is communities united for people-powered climate solutions. Thank you.
Dosha, Marigua, Marishima A Ishubiya Het. So, hello friends and relatives, my name is Eagle Woman. I work with the Indigenous Environmental Network. I just want to take a minute to honor and recognize the original peoples of this land that we're all standing on here today. I think that all too often people forget that. You know, they forget that we're really truly only the non-immigrants of this land. And politicians need to remember that as they keep trying to keep our brothers and sisters to the south out. So I just wanted to say I'm from North Dakota. I'm a proud Mandan Hidatsa Arikara woman. I had a really smart grandmother that taught me some basic life lessons, such as don't take money from strangers without expecting that they'll not want something in return. Yet the proponents of the fracking industry are coming into our communities and doing just that. They're saying you're going to have unlimited wealth, unlimited jobs, all kinds of great things, and there's going to be no downside. They're telling our people. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it is. people are learning today. See, my homeland sit atop something called the Bakken Formation. And right now, oil and gas companies are fracking there to release the energy trapped beneath the surface. These same energy companies are even proposing the idiotic notion that fracking is a solution to our climate change problems. Day by day, more and more people are finding out that there are no upsides to fracking, and the downsides are numerous, devastating, and permanent. And when I say permanent, I mean there's no amount of money in the world that's going to bring back my 23-year-old friend that was killed in 2008 by a frack truck in North Dakota. I don't care if the oil companies come and have millions of dollars because they'll never bring her back to our communities. A lot of that crude oil isn't staying in North Dakota. It's coming out here. There's 2 trains a day coming to Albany, New York, carrying 85,000 barrels of oil. These trains have been called bomb trains because they have a propensity to explode. If you don't believe me, ask the families of the 47 people in Quebec that were killed when a bomb train carrying Bakken oil exploded and killed 47 innocent people. Another one exploded in Alabama, another in North Dakota. There are leaks and spills into the rivers and the waters every day, and these are toxic leaks and spills. At home, in July, over 1 million gallons leaked into Lake Sakakawea. What does that mean to you? Well, Lake Sakakawea is the Missouri River that flows down. Just because that's at home in North Dakota doesn't mean that it's not affecting you all here. I like to tell people that if a kid pees in a pool in the shallow end, that doesn't mean that that pee is going to stay in the shallow end and you're safe in the deep end. It's going to eventually get to you. That air that's being flared into in North Dakota is going to be breathed into your lungs here as well. You see, because all of the oil and gas industries are telling people here in New York, frack, frack, frack for natural gas. Yet 1/3 of that natural gas is being flared into the atmosphere, 30-foot high flares in North Dakota. So far, New York has wisely not moved forward, and I would tell you to exercise caution before you become the next environmentally related disaster. Take it from me. If something seems too good to be true, it freaking probably is. Thank you. Passing it on.
Hi, my name is Bill Aristobulus. I was born in Athens, Greece, grew up in the Bronx, and have been a superintendent for the last 35 years. Today I'm marching for my children. I am marching so they can live in a world without worrying about the next big storm destroying their community. I am marching so they can live in a world of ecological diversity. I am marching because I know, as working people, we can help save the planet. 2 years ago, when Sandy hit, I was in my building in Lower Manhattan. The building, like so many others, lost electricity and water for 15 days. We took food and water up and down 15 floors to the elderly who couldn't leave the building. I and a small group of committed residents stayed behind. My mother, yeah, that's right, my mother taught me early on about conservation. She was a staunch supporter of keeping the thermostat down low, very low, okay? When I became a superintendent in 1979, I too sought creative ways to lower the energy usage in my building and lower energy costs to boot. In 2010, my union, 32BJ, and the real estate industry teamed up to create a training program called 1000 Green Supers. Through this program, we learned about how saving energy not only saved money, but could also help to improve the air and water, the air we breathe and the water we drink. We learned how to adjust boilers, insulate heating systems, and to save energy in our buildings. While it may sound small, those changes by 2,000 supers is actually pretty big. In New York City, buildings are responsible for 74% of the emissions produced in the city. If we can change what's spewing out to our buildings, we can impact what is happening to our air. And we might have a chance of slowing down the global warming and climate change. I became an early instructor in our 1,000 Green Super program. I teach other supers how to green their buildings. I teach them that what they're doing isn't just helping the residents, but it's also helping the planet. I am marching not only for a better, more livable world for my children, but I'm also marching to let our leaders know that workers like myself can be part of the solution. Together, we can save the planet. To do nothing is just simply unacceptable. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathy Jedangan Kritina Yawayaudip. I'm from the Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands is in the northern Pacific, and we are only 2 meters above sea level. Our islands will be one of the first islands to disappear when the water sea level rises. Okay, and we have also been experiencing climate change firsthand. The water has been rushing and crashing into our homes. We've seen our trees wither from the salt and the drought. And in some areas, our grave sites are actually beginning to wash out to the sea. So it's not even just the people who are alive who are being affected, but are dead too. And with the rising sea levels, and with our ocean and with our islands disappearing, I want people to know that there are thousands of years of history and culture that will also disappear should our islands go. If we Marshallese lose our islands, we lose our connection to our land, we lose our connections to our culture and to our identity. A lot of the media is so far focused on where islanders will go and where we will relocate. And I want people to know that we don't want to move from our islands, and we shouldn't have to move from our islands. So I'm marching today because I have a daughter, and I want her daughter and her granddaughter and the next generations after to grow up and live and thrive in our islands and to know where they're from. On Tuesday, this Tuesday, I'll be speaking at the opening ceremony of the Climate Summit to more than 120 heads of state. And I'll be telling them to be bold in their visions for their negotiations in Peru and Paris. And also, I'll be telling them that we need to act now. We cannot wait. We only have one atmosphere, and we Marshallese have only one land that we can call home. So I want to thank all of the marchers today, and those all around the world who've been marching, for coming together and taking a stand. We need you. Our islands need you, and this world needs you. So thank you.
Buenos dias, mi gente. My name is Elizabeth Pierre. I'm here from Uprose, Brooklyn's oldest Latino community-based organization. That's what's up. We don't have to go very far to see why we're here today. At Uprose, we are building the path to climate justice one block at a time. This is happening in our barrios. This is happening in our communities. We are here because there were 2 tornadoes in Brooklyn. We're here because Sandy came and made an unwelcome visit. We're here because it is our communities that are the reluctant hosts to all of the environmental pollution and infrastructure that basically is hurting our communities. We are here today because it is those people who least contribute to climate change that are the ones that are going to be most impacted by what's coming our way. And we are here because we know that justice is not something that is given to us, it's something that we have to take. We are here because we do not accept false solutions. We do not support the dig, burn, and dump economy. We are here because we believe that we are the solutions, that we are the roots that will weather the storm. We are here because we are redefining this moment, this movement, this time, and I want to thank you for joining us today.
Chief Perry of the Ramapo Lenape Nation. I'm Chief Perry of the Ramapo Lenape Nation. The land you stand upon is the land of my ancestors. We are the people who first witnessed the arrival of greed, the bounty of the earth turned into a commodity, and the most devastating of all, humanity weighed as chattel to be manipulated for profit by the purveyors of greed and racism. The Ramapo live but 30 miles from where we now stand. We live upon the same footprint from which our ancestors saw the invasion of the Dutch, the invasion of the English, and before all came to take all in the name of destiny. When George Washington was a captain and Alexander Hamilton was a lieutenant, in the very essence of the American Revolution, my ancestors allowed the rebels to use the Ramapo Pass, a natural redoubt just 30 miles from Manhattan. The first 900 cannonballs fired in the American Revolution, the chain across the Hudson, the Capitol Dome, and the Lady of Freedom atop the dome were all produced from Lenape iron at the Ringwood mines. Yet this government we help to create pretends they do not know who we are. Today the government has watched the malice of corporations fill those very same mines with toxic wastes which today are killing my people at this very moment. And apparently at the behest of corporate greed, the government pretends not to know it. We are dying from corporate murder at this very moment, as the same ilk march forward destroying the earth. As we stand by our grandmother's side, sharing her pain, crying as we watch helplessly the piercing and the gouging and the poisoning of our forests and the destruction of our sacred places, the poisoning that the avarice have now extended to the very lives of the Ramapo people. We are the Ramapo Lenape, the Muncie. We are the keepers of the past, and we are human beings. For over 300 years, before any of our relatives west of the Mississippi saw a euro, we're at war with the greedy, the takers, and the haters, as we are today. But after the American Revolution, the Founding Fathers showed the Ramapo their undying gratitude by simply allowing us to remain upon our land and to remain alive. A bitter victory of place few others can claim or want to, which brings us to this moment. As the waters on this Turtle Island become increasingly poisoned and the purity questioned, the same people who have polluted the water would now profit from it by desalinization and selling potable water back to us so we can avoid what they have already polluted and in some countries have murdered to obtain. Today our grandmother the earth is being gouged, maimed, disfigured, poisoned for nothing more than the avarice of others. My people, the Ramapo, are dying just 30 miles from where we now stand, from unknown, rare, and exotic cancers, tumors, skin diseases, as a result of the dumping of thousands of tons of toxic waste on our people, on our community. A dumping of toxic waste that has the probability of leaching into the local reservoir, affording and endangering the drinking water of millions and millions of local people. Yet the very same people responsible for the dumping continue to hide behind the corporate shell while we continue to destroy the environment. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 15 minutes of media avail for the speakers and the group representatives. Again, that's 15 minutes of media availability for speakers and